Designs and Machine Embroidery. Thank you for joining me today. I am so excited. It's our double reveal day. You're probably wondering, what's double reveal? Well, we have a hot new product to share with you, and it is the October reveal of the Small Town Charm. Plus, we have two guests to help me do both. So let's go ahead and welcome in my first guest, who is Jess Barrera of Sallie Tomato. Not just of Sallie Tomato, but she is the founder and owner and chief needle threader for sure over at Sallie Tomato. She's a young entrepreneur with vast experience, believe it or not, at her young age. She really brings, sewing skills, good business acumen to this task of starting her own company in Fox Lake, Wisconsin. So where is Fox Lake, Wisconsin? Well, it's kind of in the, not quite the center of the state. It's a little north of Milwaukee. But look how close it is to Beaver Dam. Look how close. It's just right now, today, at this time, it's a 13-minute drive. So let's welcome in Jess. Hi, Jess.
Hey. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is such an exciting reveal.
Well, we're just thrilled to have you here. We are. And all that, talk about Wisconsin and Beaver Dam. And for those who don't know about Beaver Dam is the past home of Nancy Zeman and Nancy's Notions. And Jess, you interned at Nancy's Notions, right?
Yes, I worked at the retail store in high school and throughout college. And then I interned for Nancy Zeman, helping her with the Quilt Expo show and the sewing weekend. And it was a really incredible experience. Such a wonderful woman.
Oh, that's fabulous. So now when you started college, you were going to be an elementary teacher, right? That was your major, but you changed.
Yep, I love teaching and I love working with kids, but I do also have a passion for business and, of course, passionate about sewing. And I decided to major in entrepreneurship. So it was a new program at the college that I went to. And so I think it was a really good fit with a little bit of teaching experience and then with the business degree. So.
It sounds like it was the perfect timing of the offering of that new major at your university, which I believe was University of Wisconsin at Whitehall, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so it's just amazing. I first met Jess at Quilt Festival in Houston, or maybe it was Market. It doesn't matter which one it was, but it was a most impressive booth. It was a brand new look in our industry. What many of us quilters love is, walking into a booth that's just full of bright colors and patterns galore and just, kind of overload, right? Just eye candy overload. But yours was clean and really fresh. It was all hardware at the time, right? Your first venture. Did you also have patterns then?
Yes. Well, I started out with the patterns, and then just from working in the quilt shop, I knew that it was frustrating for the customers when they couldn't find the supplies to make the purses. So then I looked into sourcing all of that and brought on the cork and the zippers, and it just keeps adding.
Right. It just keeps adding because, in the beginning, everybody wanted to make bags, that kind of were like this, really fun fabrics and maybe a zip case or what have you. But you really wanted to elevate that and give people the opportunity to make a bag that they'd be really proud to wear every day, carry all their goodies in and use it all the time. And hardware is one of the keys to that.
Yeah, it's always a fun challenge with trying out new materials like the cork and the faux leather and all the hardware, just to, like you said, totally elevate the look and give it that clean, fresh, and yet making it easy to sew too. And sewing machine. So it's always a fun challenge for me to do the patterns.
Yes, and your patterns, are they all downloadable?
Yes, they're all downloadable, or we have paper copies too, whichever format.
Mm-hmm. Right. But what I was impressed with the downloadable versions, because that's how I purchase, is everything was so clean and, I didn't have to tile a whole bunch of things. So here, let me bring one over. I have the holly that we're going to kind of take a look at today. And, you know, they're in color for sure if you want to print in color, but you don't have to. You could just print it in black and white. But all of her instructions include, which one of my favorite things is this. Of course, it's not here right now. Oh, here it is. It's on the fabric. Pardon me. I'm not supposed to be doing this, but anyway. So she has this little key that tells you, it's like labels, pre-printed labels that you would then cut out and just clip them to the fabric that you're going to be using for the lining, the gusset, the strap, that kind of thing. Because, you know, when you get all these pieces cut out, you know, it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, right, Jess?
Yeah, and they're all funky shapes and different sizes and fabrics, so it's just nice to have it all labeled that way.
Right. And really organized. Yeah. So I think that's one thing that you're really going to love about Sallie Tomato's patterns. But, you know, each piece is labeled very clearly. It has the brand, most certainly, the bag name, and then what this piece is, and tells you how many, you know, cut to, on fold, all that. I love it. You did a really great job. And then illustrations galore. Now, the highlighter I added because I use that. That's my own personal system, like do this or don't do that. Because I, you know, don't always follow the instructions, or maybe I'm not doing the whole bag. Depends, right? Mm-hmm. You'll forgive me for that, right, Jess?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I just want people to have confidence in buying your patterns because, you know, I think a lot of products we can buy online can be disappointing and not always what we had hoped. And here we are now, we're trying to figure out how to do this bag. And the fact that you know, they're PDF and they're downloadable, I'm going to speak for you maybe, Jess. Does that give you the thought or the freedom that you can put as much instruction in there because you're not limited to a package that you really have to, you know, you have constrained space, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I try to include illustrations for every step. I'm a visual learner too, and just breaking it down into those bite-sized pieces. But just hearing you say all the compliments is just such an honor, and means a lot to me, Eileen. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. But, you know, I'm not the only one. Like, here's Corey Tibbs. She says, I'm a visual person, so the illustrations are really important. You know, and I agree too. And actually, you know, I often, and I think I would speak for a lot of people that, you know, we are really graphically oriented today. You know, we don't read words as much as we used to. And so often we glance through all those illustrations to get a quick run through. And then when it's time to really work on the project, that's when we go through each step by step and all of the written instructions that are included. So it's handy to have those illustrations. It really is. But people are probably wondering, Jess, well, Eileen, why is Sallie there right here today? Well, we do have a really exciting thing to talk about. Yeah, we're going to do an unveiling. We have a joint product that Sallie Tomato has worked with Dime on to develop this. And many of you probably are guessing what it is because you know that we already have another product that's somewhat similar, but Jess has brought her unique touch to it. And so let's go to the overhead cam and I'll just kind of do a little unveiling here. I just, you know, I used a red and white stripe because these are two American companies that I thought you might like to just kind of, you know, made in America makes us feel good, right? So this is the Sallie Tomato pressing station. And it is different than our original pressing station. And I'm going to show you why in a moment. So let me unbox this. I'm just going to slide off that sleeve. It's a little heavier than, not too bad. Okay, so we'll just slide that off. And then when we open the box, it has these full instructions on how to assemble the pieces and, you know, how to use it. It's got a couple tips from Jessica. So this will come in very handy. Of course, it shows some of her beautiful bags. And let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the box. So inside, first you're going to have this Ziploc bag that has 2 posts, 4 plates, and screws. Now, the 2 bags of screws, so they're probably on the bottom of the bag. So, you know, if you don't see them right away, that's where they are. You're going to find the 1.5 curved edge board. On the flip side, it has pre-drilled holes, and that's where you will add your plate. Use the screws. You just need a Phillips head screwdriver. You don't need an electric drill. I mean, you most certainly can use one, but very simple to assemble. And then that's our 1.5. And now we have a 3-inch wide tongue that is really great for those curved, narrow pieces in bags. And of course, so is this one. That would be for really narrow spaces. But then we have 2 more boards. So now we have a wider 4-inch board and another 4-inch board. But the difference between the two is this edge is curved for a reason, and that's for pressing seams open, as this one is flat. And the reason for that is sometimes you want a crisp edge, and sometimes you don't want a crisp edge. So I already have one assembled, and I'm just going to move all this out of the way and then show you the one that's already assembled and how easy it goes together. So I have put my plate on, and just a tip, and this is in the instructions, the plate has what we call the keeper. It's kind of like a little groove, like a little hook right here. And then this has the claw on the post. See, it's only on one side. That's not on both sides. And so when I slip that into the groove and click it, now it stays in place. So you get 2 posts in the Sallie tomato pressing station, because I think you always want to have these 2 boards assembled together. And that is because we're going to use them on their side pretty often, because now I can get that groove. And let me get my fabric pieces here. So I have some fusible fleece that's already fused onto my fabric. And what I don't want to do is when I press this open, I don't want the ridge of this seam allowance to be visible here after I press. And that can be an issue, right? And I know many of you pour your heart and soul into making these handbags. And when you do, it's disappointing to have that crease. It looks rather unprofessional. So now I can just move my iron up and down this rounded edge, and I don't have to worry about leaving any kind of crease on this side. So it's nice and flat, and yet there's no ridge that's visible along those seam allowances. I love that. That was a great invention, Jess. I'm so proud of you for coming up with that. So I have a bag that I've started, and this is the holly bag. See, this is what happens when I work out of order. I'm very dangerous. So Jess, tell me a little bit about the holly bag and the significance of the name of the holly bag, because this is what we're going to be showing.
So I feature cork fabric and faux leather in a lot of the designs. And so this one is geared more towards beginners. So you get to use cork as an applique accent on the bottom, on the gusset, and the strap. And all of our patterns are named after classic movies. I'm a huge classic movie fan. So maybe some people can guess where holly came from. But I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's from Holly Golightly from Breakfast at Tiffany's, one of the main character, Audrey Hepburn. So just kind of a fun story. We try to tell the story at the beginning of each pattern. And so there is a nice feature of the quilt cotton in there, but those curves can be challenging to press with the gusset. So
right,
for sure, that's really handy.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I've already attached, and I did use cotton fabric. I'm not this isn't cork. So I've already attached it. I've applied fusible fleece to the wrong side of each of my fabrics as per Sallie Tomato instructions. And now the challenge now is to press this curve and, you know, to get a nice crisp, you know, curve without a mess, right? And that's a problem, isn't it? Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just going to lay this the long edge along the edge of the board, and I'll give that a good press. And then as I work around the curve, I'm going to just, smooth that fabric to the curve of the board. And I'm just working that around and pressing as I go. And, it's a nice, gentle curve, so I'm not going to get any sharp points or anything like that. And let me pull this a little bit closer to me. There we go. And then I most certainly can use the straight edge of the board to do the bottom straight part, like this portion here. But I'm just going to go ahead and work on that other corner, and then I'll come back and do that bottom seam. So you just take your time and let the board, add the shape to the bag. I mean, of course, the pattern is what dictates the shape, but the pressing, the finishing is what can really add structure and additional form to the bag, giving you more professional results. For all of your bag making efforts, you go to a lot of trouble with this, right, Jess?
Right, and this is a total game changer for bag making. This is an incredible product. I'm so excited to use this for all our bags.
Oh, definitely. And you have some other bags patterns that have beautiful curves. I know you have that daisy, which is very popular. So now other ways to use the board, depending on how you're working, you can always stand it up and operate in this fashion if you find that's a little bit more comfortable. Like, there's all different ways to use that board. I could even do it, well, I can't do it that way, but I can work that straight edge on this side if that gives me more comfort, if I'm trying to get that sharp edge on the bag side. So isn't that fun? Oh, Jess, look at the shape of that. Isn't that so nice? It's really taken shape now. I know. It's great. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We have some questions. Diva Brown says that the screw holes are too close to the edge. Actually, they're not too close to the edge. It's designed like that so that it fits perfectly within our plate. It's, well thought out. And since it's pre-drilled, you don't have to worry about that wood splitting. So it's exactly how we want it. We do have some exciting news for you who already own our totally tubular pressing station or hooping station. You can buy the Sallie tomato boards separately. They each come with a plate and the screws that are needed. In this instance, this is the 1.5 inch wide. This is the 3-inch wide curved edge, like they're all curved with Sallie tomato. And then you also can purchase the 2 4-inch boards together. Now, why together? Because like I showed you, they should always be mounted on the same post. So if you already have the pressing station or hooping station, then and you want the curved boards, you just buy the boards. You don't have to buy another whole entire system again, because the post is interchangeable. It's the same post for all of the different boards, which gives it a lot of flexibility. And I keep these right next to my ironing board. I have a small stand there with a basket, a sturdy basket, and I have my starch, my bottle of spray water. I have my boards, and I use them all the time. Oh, I can't believe how often I use them. And I just put it right on top of the ironing board and just use it right there. I don't need a separate, place to put it. Aren't they great, Jess?
Yeah, they're great for darts. They're great for when your bag is finished. You can open it up and put it over the boards too, and press your front panel flat, because that's always a challenge too in getting creases. So yeah, super handy. You'll find lots of uses for it.
That's great. We're so excited. We really are about doing this together. So let's see. Lynn, she says you have to put that on your Christmas list. She's telling somebody else to do that. Let's see. And Joanne Banco, our good friend Joanne Banco at Let's Go Sew, says pressing is important. Joanne, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. She's delightful and so talented. And boy, you know, when she says pressing is as important as stitching for a professional look, you know, I take that, you know, as expert advice for sure. Absolutely. And Diana Mullins Atkinson, she loves the name inspiration. She thought that was a wonderful idea about your whole company. Yeah, and you know, I think a lot of people really love that because you know, old movies, oh, they're just so classic and it's just really wonderful. And the clothes, that's
Yes.
what I love about the old movies. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
oh, suits and you know, just the way they drape and so forth. It's really awesome. And Joanne Wilson says, pressing can make a project go from homemade to professional looking. I agree. Absolutely. You know, you really don't want to, you know, have someone say, oh, you made that. You know, you'd rather say, you know, you made that, where they can't believe it. It's all in the finishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's see, Karina, she says Sallie Tomato has the coolest cork ever.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And Steve, you're looking for the post of the link. That's coming any minute. Absolutely. And Stephanie Hardy says that pressing can actually fix some fabric and stitching errors. Boy, you're not kidding. You know, like quilters often say, oh, you can quilt that out. Well, many seamstresses say, well, you can press that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. What's Joanne Banco saying? Funny how we creatives have so many pressing tools, and we all know folks who don't even have an iron. I know. It's kind of sad. Yeah.
So surprising.
Right. And Diana said they really knew how to dress back in the day. Well, speaking of back in the day, do you have a favorite movie star, Jess?
I love Cary Grant. So he's
Yeah.
my favorite. I think I've seen all of his movies.
Is that right? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And let's see, Betty Carwell says that the video of your patterns are very helpful. You also have that videos available for all of your pattern making, which is really helpful. Tell us a little bit about that. Where can they find them and do they?
Yeah, we're working on filming them for all of our videos, a step-by-step tutorial, and we just have them up on YouTube just to help support our customers and anybody who purchases a pattern. So we go start to finish and make the whole project.
That's awesome. And then I know you also have, you know, well, the hardware. We kind of talked about the hardware, but you have beautiful zippers, really fabulous zippers. And you sell them by the yard.
Yep, so it's a package of 3 yards, and they have a nylon coil with a metallic finish, so you can cut and sew over them, but they look like metal, so it's really fun to match to your purse hardware and just have everything coordinate and look super professional.
And they really do look like metal. I mean, they have a beautiful sheen. You even have some that kind of have like a worn finish, you know, and even that looks so true to life. Now, do you have the daisy there?
I do, yes. Yeah. I wanted to share. So this is a daisy bag. So this is a round bag that it would be perfect to slide it over. So you could open it up, slide it over the pressing board, and really iron out those curves after the bag is done.
Absolutely.
This one is out of faux fur and some cork, and then it does have that faux metal zipper on it too.
See, look at, I love the hardware. I mean, it really makes the bag. It really does. And so does Reen Wilcoxon from Embroidery Garden. She says your hardware and zippers are awesome. I agree. They are just fabulous. You know,
thank you, Reen.
Yeah, and before you began to carry them, I mean, that stuff wasn't available to us. I mean, I literally remember buying bags and cutting them open to use the hardware in my own bag.
Oh, well, that's fun to do too, and repurpose. Yeah.
But now they're so readily available, and you know, I don't want to, you know, do that. I'd rather just buy your beautiful zippers and hardware. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Does the Heim? Carolyn wants to know, are there felt pads for the boards? There are not felt pads for the Sallie Tomato boards. They're kind of narrow and the curve and so forth, so we don't have felt pads available for them. But, you know, that hardwood really makes a nice crisp crease, and it absorbs the heat. So it's a great way to go, for sure. Well, let me see. You are really an inspiration to all of us, Jess, and I'm so grateful that you spent a couple, half an hour with us today. And I know if anybody has any questions for Jess before she goes, because we're going to move on to small town charms, please ask her now. And let's see, Tina Hebner says she loves the kits, that you do kits, which is a great idea. A lot of
Thank
people,
you.
yeah, a lot of people don't have access to all the different materials. So you just provide it.
Yeah, and for beginners, if you're a quilter, you've never tried bag making before or embroidery, we put all the materials that you need into the kit. So you have all the stabilizers, all the hardware, everything to get started. It's just, we try to make it easy for you guys.
I think you've done a good job of that. Now let's see. Deborah Morgan said that Sallie Tomato has tassel holders in metal. They're hard to find. So you do offer them?
Yes, we have all the basic hardwares if you're looking for swivel hooks, D-rings, and then like on that daisy bag that I showed you, we have the metal handles, we have tassel caps, just like Chicago screws, some more unique things, and we're always growing and open to suggestions to bring in more hardware.
Great. Well, Reen over at Embroidery Garden is asking, are your new number 3 zippers available in all finishes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell us about, there's number 3 and number 5 zippers, right? So tell us about the difference between them.
Sure. It's the size of the coil, and then it's also the size of the tape of the zipper. So the number 5s are a little bit wider, and those are good for the top of bags. You could also use them for pockets, and they're just heavy duty to use with these thicker stabilizers and different materials. And then the number 3s are smaller, so they're really good for interior pockets or wallets, just smaller projects too. So we just released those in a couple weeks ago. So she's right on it.
She's right on it. And do you have so she's asking, are they available in all finishes?
Yes. So the coil color we have in all 5 colors. Everything we stock in 5 colors, so that way you're sure to match with the hardware and the zippers.
Good. Great. Okay. So let's see. We got a couple more comments, and Pat Wallace would like to see some fancy tassel tops. So add that to your suggestion list, Jess. That's probably a good idea. And Corey Tibbs says, congratulations on the collaboration with Dime, and thank you for all your inspiration, Jess. I would second that. I'm so excited to be working with you, Jess. I have, strong feelings about the state of Wisconsin, most certainly my great relationship with Nancy Zeman. We did so much fine work together. And my husband is from Wisconsin, so I have family up there. And, I'm a Packers fan. Go Aaron Rodgers, so.
Yeah, a lot of designers and good sewing friends are in Wisconsin, it seems like. So it's worth a visit.
Worth a visit for sure. Well, thanks for joining me today, Jess, and we'll be talking to you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Okay,
thanks, everybody.
So long. All right. So now it's time to go on to the small town charm. And before we do that, let's take a look at the special. So the Sallie Tomato Pressing Station is available now for $9.99 plus free shipping. And remember, it comes with 2 posts and the 4 boards. Now, if you already own the Totally Tubular Pressing Station or the Totally Tubular Hooping Station, then just buy the boards. You won't need all the posts, okay? Another post, unless you want to. But really, we don't want you to double buy, so. Okay, and Judy Warren goes, woohoo, small town charm coming up. I know, and it's October, so you know who we had to bring into the house. So let's welcome Sue S. Brown from OML Embroidery. Hi, Sue.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited.
I know. And folks, Sue has been in let's call it the green room, as they say, right? Since 12:30, and I did not show her the October small town charm. I was really tempted to just kind of lift it up and show her, but I said, okay.
I didn't even ask, too. I get points for that.
I know. You get points for that, too. And we have Chance coming in. Literally, somebody just typed, Lynn Broadband. Broadbent type Sue, 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 Sue. I can just hear that.
Hi,
chant. That's
Lynn.
awesome. Yeah.
Lynn is our resident beginner embroiderer. So
Right.
she's learning, and I threw her on the Luminaire, and she did really well. She made her first zipper bag.
Wow.
So yeah, she's just our noob of the OML.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Getting a little bit of... Are you there, Sue?
I am. I can hear you.
Good job. Thank you.
I don't know what that was.
I don't either. But it's going to be fixed pretty soon. All right. So let's take a look at the small town charm. But first off, Carolyn Kessler wants to say, love the big googly eyes behind Sue. Super fun.
They glow in the dark, too.
Do they really? Oh, yes. Wow. Okay. All right. So if you don't know about the small town charms, this is a program that's been going on all year, and it started in January with a quilt shop. February was the cake shop. March was a dress shop, and April, flowers. And in May, we did a 2-story outdoor cafe and a town hall in June, and the ice cream shop in July, and the gazebo in August. Now, Sue, and then of course in September we did the book nook. So let's take a look at Sue's small town charms. And if you don't know this, Sue hosts a sew along every Saturday after the reveal of the small town charm. So I reveal on the last Thursday of the month, and Sue does the sew along 2 days later on that Saturday. So here on the left is my blooms in April. And look at the fun that Sue Brown had with hers. And you changed the name from Blooms to Kabloom.
Yes, I thought it was funny. It kind of is, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Judy Quilt.
Yeah, isn't that sweet? Okay, so here's a closer look up. She's got, funny eyes in the door on the pumpkin. They're not really googly eyes, though, are they?
They are not. No, it's just a jack-o'-lantern that I fussy cut.
Fussy cut. Look at you. You rock. Okay, and then on the outdoor cafe, she decided to go with Christmas.
My other favorite time.
Yeah. Oh, and I should have mentioned that you have a name for your small town charm. I mean, you're calling it the Sueville, right?
Yes. Yes. Welcome to Sueville. I like to make up a little story for each month too, just to people giggle, and it makes it all that much more fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Sandy Arcuri says, so stinking cute. That's adorable. Yeah. And Isabel Briand, our friend from France, says she loves Sueville. Yep. Okay, then look what you did to our very sophisticated town hall. You went Ministry of Magic. Oh, let me remove this so that everybody can see it. Isn't that great? Look what you did.
That's my favorite one, I think, other than Kabloom.
Okay, this is good. I love it. You did the pennant on top. Your background fabric is super fun. You got a mouse in the foreground. Spider on the wall. Really very, very, very good. Okay, and then Sueville, this is when you revealed how much you love tulip pink.
I have my moments.
Sure. That's great. Really, really great. So, and then your gazebo was...
Yes, I love the gazebo. The little story is you follow the invisible man, which is the footprints. Watch out for the flamingos, and the ghost will tell you all about the town.
That's great. That's really great. So let's see. Marjorie says, Sue gives everyone great inspiration for these small town charms. That's awesome. Judy Quilt loves the flamingos. I know. So fun. Okay. Are we ready?
Whew, yes, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm excited.
Super haunted house.
I love it. I love it.
It's really plain. Really, really plain.
Not
because
for long.
I wanted to give you so much space to play with. Really, a lot of...
I love the cat at the top. That is awesome.
Yes. So let's take a look at the 7x12. Has a little fence off the side. just to kind of kickstart, some thoughts for all of you as to what you will do surrounding that haunted house. So I thought I would walk through the 5x7 for you because it's 2 hoopings. The 7x12 is 1 hooping, but the 5x7 is 2. And it's not hard, but it's just maybe not intuitive because we're going to put 2 designs together, but not at the center. So follow along.
Good challenge.
Okay.
Good challenge.
Yeah, good challenge. So here you can see here on the left, first hooping is on the bottom, second hooping is the roof, and to the right is where they are merged together. But when we look at them in software, and now with their crosshairs, so those crosshairs are designating the center of each design. Now, I know this looks confusing, but it is in the instructions. It's really not that confusing. So you're going to start with a 14-inch piece of fabric, and you're going to place your first hooping. You're going to print a template of hooping 1 and position the crosshair so that it's 7.5 inches from the left edge of the fabric, and the horizontal crosshair is 4.5 inches from the bottom of the fabric edge. So if you stitch your first design in that location, your finished haunted house will actually be centered on the fabric. So you would have that done. And now this is what's really key here. So we have the first hooping and second hooping. I have a zoomed in image of this so you can see in light blue is the first hooping. And the second hooping is that pink highlighted area. And the key to this is that we want the weather vane to align with the stem in the first hooping. So I used Perfect Alignment Laser to do that. I stitched my fabric, my first hooping on my quilt fabric, and then I placed the embroidery design underneath PAL, and I center that vertical beam over the stem of the embroidery design, and you kind of can't see it here under this beam, which I've exaggerated so that you could get a clear look at it. And then you're going to slide in your template. And all you're really focusing on is aligning the weather vane with the beam. Don't even think about the center of the design. Completely ignore the crosshair that's on the template at this point, because you're just positioning the second design on the fabric. You're not hooping yet. Right, Sue? You got that?
Challenge accepted. I'm following. Yep.
Right. But you think that's a clear explanation?
I do, yes.
Okay, good. All right. So then now we turn the laser off, right? And we position our hoop under PAL, aligning the centers. And you don't have to do this part, but I always use PAL when I am hooping. And then I slide my fabric underneath PAL, aligning the laser with the crosshair of the template. I don't worry about the weather vane at this point. And then put my top in place. And so then it's aligned, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, it really comes out really perfect. It really does. And
That's
it's just
awesome.
fun. Yeah, but you know what? It's also a wonky house. It's a wonky haunted house. So if it's a little askew, it's a little askew, right?
Yeah, work with what you got, I always say.
So how many googly eyes do you think you'll put in this, huh, Sue?
Well, I think there might be some in the windows just to be extra creepy.
Yeah. I really wanted to have something creeping over the roof, like googly eyes creeping over the roof or around the side of the building or something like that. I don't know. I can't.
How about skeletons? I've got some fantastic background fabric that'll set the mood for the whole house.
Right. Absolutely.
I love it.
I was tempted to go, really darker, but the whole idea is that the house is a silhouette. So you don't really want to use a black background because then your house, won't have that silhouette effect unless you come up with another color applique fabric that you think works. It's all
I already have some ideas.
You do?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Veronica Miller says lots of cute possibilities. Glow in the dark thread, maybe.
Yes.
I know, right? I'm so excited to see what you're all going to do, but I really kept it simple. It's just 5 colors on each embroidery design. So even the big one, you know, the 7x12 is still just 5 colors. And I used my King Star metallic thread for my windows. I didn't use the Mylar. I just used my metallic thread because it's so dependable and so fast. And then just, you know, my black applique fabric. I did use Fuse Me on the back of all of my applique fabrics to prepare my applique fabric, you know, with our fusible web, so that it securely holds that down. And let's see, Lynn Broadbent says, well, why not hot pink? Why not hot pink, right? Halloween comes in all different kinds of colors. I can't wait to see what we'll do, right?
Well, everyone join us on Saturday and you'll see what I come up with, because this is my thing and it's going to be so much fun. So much fun. And everyone can try the double hooping. I try to give people different ways of accomplishing it, from beginners to a luminaire where you have, you know, the projector, and that makes it so much easier. So we can do this. We got this.
Oh, you definitely got this for sure.
Yep.
And the projector would work well, but good old templates. And I love to use those print and stick Target template papers because they are translucent and they are, you know, adhesive. It's tacky, you know, temporarily will stay on the fabric until you peel it off. And that's what I love about that.
Yes,
So
I mention that just about any time I'm doing placement, is that is the easiest. Honestly, it's a little bit easier than using the projector because you set it up at your desk and then hoop it and then just go. You don't have to mess around and move around. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. So let's see. They want to know OML Embroidery at 10 a.m. this Saturday. Now, where do they find you? Can they just go to the website, your website, or, you know, where will
it's on YouTube, the OML Embroidery YouTube channel. So you can just search it. Make sure you subscribe. We have regular schedules, and it is at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is our favorite time of the entire week. That is our big day. It's our dime day. It's our fun day. We do different things and learn different things. So, sign up on the channel. That's where you need to go, and you'll get notification of it.
That's awesome. Oh, I can't wait to see what everybody's going to do. Well, Sue, thank you for joining me today. It was really great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me join in on the release. I'm so excited. I have ideas, and I appreciate being here so much.
Well, you are very welcome. You are a great ambassador for Dime. You do an awful lot for our company, and we're grateful for that. So everybody, you know, follow OML. And, you know, she has done over 100 videos on our main software, Perfect Embroidery Pro. So this woman really knows what she's talking about, right?
Yes, true. And I make it fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Everything, no frustration. Fun. You can, and my other motto is, you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. Here's how.
That's right. You most certainly can. And it's supposed to be fun. So, and you make it fun. So bring your googly eyes on Saturday, 10 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. What is that?
Eastern.
Okay, folks.
Eastern Standard Time.
You heard it here. Be there or be square, right? I had to do that. Sorry.
That works. No, that works. It's tempting every time I say it.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Today, Sue. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.